I don't think it was new, but I think, if you were in the camp that, this is a Fed that was chomping at the bit to start to taper, to move ahead, that was getting scared about inflation, that could be moving ahead, as early as August and discussing this at Jackson Hole, making a move in September, I think you were disappointed. I think this was, Powell was very patient. He reiterated that stance. He reiterated what, is typically what a central bank's view is where are we going to be 2 to 3 years from now, not what did CPI print this week. And I think, going in there and saying there is no rush to taper QE, given substantial further progress is still a ways off. He downplayed that surge in inflation. It's still in line with their overall long-term expectations and said, look, if this changes, we will alter policy. I think one of the interesting innovations, just I think they're trying to anchor the market's sort of thought process on this, said they will assess in 6 months' time whether this is starting to impact longer-term inflation and where it's going at. He's really trying to move people off CPI print to CPI print and thinking we're 1 month away from scaring the Fed into starting a premature tapering.
It's funny that he did put a timeline on it. I was speaking to a Bank of England policymaker yesterday, and he didn't actually commit to giving me a specific number of months to watch. So a bit of granularity there from Chair Powell. When it comes to that tapering decision now, it does feel as though the bar for them to announce tapering in September is very, very high. Would you say consensus is sitting at December right now?
We've been sitting at December in terms of an announcement and thought that they would start to prep the market gradually over that. I think there's still a decent chunk kind of looking for that. But I think if consensus hasn't gotten there after yesterday, I do think consensus will shift there and kind of come in line with us. So I think what you'll see is at the upcoming meetings, each one, they will gradually talk a bit more. They really want to try and prep the market so this doesn't come as a shock. They can announce that in September. They can start to go in. There will still be debates after that. We think it's probably going to take at least through the November 22 meeting for them to end tapering. So it's still a very long timeline. I think that's something the market hasn't quite digested yet. And then there's the discuss on hikes. And I think it was interesting if you read and interpret what Powell said yesterday. They're not looking at upside surprises to inflation as a driver for tapering, but it can be a driver for when they think about the need to hike rates. And so I think that debate will happen, and we will get to that by year end. And so by the time we get to the tapering decision, I think we'll already be debating sort of rate hike side of the cycle. And I think that's where we're sort of drifting to at this point.